We've got 13 games on Friday. Let's go through them. Let's take a look at what we're watching for. Let's look at any stream opportunities that have opened up. And Michael Bolton, what do you think?
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and I once was the runner-up in fashions on the field. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Download the app and use the code LOCKEDONNBA to win $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Also, check out LockedOnDaily.com for your daily dose of newsletter goodness from your favorite NBA team. All of the information about that team, LockedOnDaily.com. Check it out. Subscribe, sign up. Bit of information for me in there as well. All right, we are 13 games on Friday. It is a very busy day. There are a couple of back-to-backs from Thursday on to Friday, but mostly not. And we'll just talk about who's in, who's out, where replacements lie. You're probably, almost definitely not going to be streaming players in, and that's okay. But we'll talk about where there are opportunities or guys that might even just be worth grabbing, and they'll become startable despite the very heavy schedule. Let's go. Let's just check out all the first games, or all of the games actually. Let's start with that part first, and we'll go into the first one, which is the Indiana Pacers taking on the Charlotte Hornets in Game 1. The Pacers are 5.5-point favorites here on the road. Both of these teams play Friday, Sunday. They're both busy days. Sunday's an 11-gamer, probably not streamable, but maybe. And then next week is where things do lighten up. It's when the NBA Cup is starting as well. Wednesday, Friday, Sunday for Indiana. So 2 days off to begin the week. Charlotte goes Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday. So Hornets, this is a part of it as well when you're considering, I think we get this nice little opportunity here on Friday, Sunday for the Hornets to check out Trey Mann. Because then next week, there's one game in 5 nights to begin the week. And that, for a borderline player, means they're not holdable. But if he starts cooking at 27 minutes a night in these next 2, then you do hold it. But if he's borderline, you're going, I'm not sure, a 1 game in 5, see you later. Who's out here? Aaron Neesmith's going to be out. The 2 centers are going to be out. Mark Williams and BDNR Nick Richards. Daquan Jeffries will be out. Now, Miles Bridges at the end of last game hurt his knee. He was able to come back into the game, which looked pretty weird. It looked like it was going to be a significant enough injury, but, it wasn't. Now, just as I'm recording that, he just got ruled out. So, why did he come back in? What is happening? Anyway, that's so crazy. They haven't given us an update into actually what's wrong with his knee, but it looked like it was going to be like a 3-4 weeker, like a Paul George hyperextension type of a scenario. Why he came back in is absolutely nonsense to me. So yeah, another W for NBA training staffs. So Bridges is out. There you go. That means that I am absolutely holding Trey Mann to see what happens, because because their big man stocks are dead. Are they going to start Tijan Salin? Will they move Brandon Miller up and start Cody Martin? Can Miller play the 4? Will Grant Williams play the 4 next to Taj Gibson, even though there's no center behind them? Salin is going to have to play more. So I said that we're watching Trey Mann. We absolutely are, but we're also watching to see what happens with Salin in that situation. On the Pacers, we want to watch Jarris Walker. He was perfect last game, and he got those extra minutes over Obi Toppin. Is that the thing? Is that what they're going to continue to do? We don't know, so we watch it. Walker would be the stream option, maybe Toppin as well, depending on how you feel. We're not high prioritizing either of those guys. And then Grant Williams is the Hornets option there. Again, that probably does improve Williams' value even further now that Bridges is out, and we will see some Diabate Williams and Gibson Williams minutes together, because their power forward and center strength, there's no one. There's Diabate, there's Williams, there's Gibson, and then there's rookie Salin, who's been pretty rough so far to start the season, which is to be expected. The second game, the Hawks and the Pistons, is the next game we take a look at. No spread currently available for this one. On the Atlanta side of things, well, realistically, we need to watch what on earth is going on with Onyeka Okongwu in the minutes. It is moving towards a drop. The upside has been shown many times, but if the minutes are going to sit at 23 or 24, that makes it a really tough hold, and I think in some cases you can already move on, especially in points leagues. For the Pistons, Tim Hardaway is probably like 60-40 outpacing Malik Beasley in terms of pop games. It's not always going to happen, and it's definitely not a must scenario, but the minutes are there for him at the moment. I didn't even talk about the schedule. I should do that. Atlanta has Friday, Saturday, so that's really, really interesting. So maybe you don't drop a Kongwu there because you get the Saturday game. And then they play Tuesday, Friday, Sunday next week, whereas Detroit has 4 games next week and Friday, Sunday this week. So Bogdan's out, Bufkin's out, Krejci is out. I labeled DeAndre Hunter as doubtful. He is out again. I have no idea what happened. This is one of those... This is very reminiscent of Charlotte last season with Cody... 2 years ago with Cody Martin, where he played 1 game and they just said... doubtful for, and this was the original Mark Williams, and they just never told us what was wrong with his knee. He played like 4 games. This is this. Hunter played 2 games, and now there's knee management and just out 2 weeks. What's going on? Like, maybe should I start a campaign? Should I talk to the Hawks PR and go, hey, what's going on? Information, please. All of your other injury reports are fantastic. This one, very, very sus. Asad Thompson and Bobby Clintman will be out. Jalen Duren, I actually nailed this one as well. I labeled him as doubtful, and he is officially doubtful with the ankle sprain, so he's not going to play. Jaden Ivey is also questionable, and like Miles Bridges, Jaden Ivey hurt his leg. He was in significant pain, and he came back in and played, and now he's questionable again. Many such cases. Who are the stream guys? It's probably Garrison Matthews, but it's not an exciting stream, obviously. Like, it's not one we get interested in. Zach Ricochet obviously popped off last game. It's really going to be interesting to watch because there is I think you know what I'm going to say. There is a general consensus that if someone's been like bad, good, they've turned it around, it's all happening, let's go, Ricochet's on, he's figured it out, okay. That's fine. Grab him, no worries. Shot 67%, got 3 steals, 2 blocks, 0 chance of happening. I am very anti the 1 game indicates a turnaround or 1 game indicates a drop-off, whether it's bad or good, like whatever. It doesn't. It doesn't. 1 game does not indicate that. It doesn't indicate, well, here we go. It is all system go. That is not how this works. So we're going to watch what Ricochet is doing there. The stream guy in the Pistons is probably Isaiah Stewart, even though Paul Reed is by far a better per-minute producer. I just think we might get a 29-19 split, which makes it hard to get excited about Reed. But if Reed plays 22, he's useful enough. So they're both going to be options there for us. We just don't know exactly which way. Old mate JB Bickerstaff, who... I need to find... Who remembers what JB Bickerstaff's actual name is? Because it is very humorous. What is it? It's like Juan Blair or something. John Blair. John Blair Bickerstaff. There you go. John Blair Bickerstaff. We don't know exactly how he's going to run that. Next game. Pelicans. Magic. No spread at this point. This is the last game for the week for New Orleans, and then they go 4 games next week, whereas Orlando has Friday, Sunday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday next week. I said that Trey Murphy's out. He's not. Trey Murphy, the return is coming. Now, Trey Murphy's probably not going to play, but he's doubtful. So that means that, that Monday, Wednesday, and there is a back-to-back he probably sits. Like, I would think Wednesday is a really, really reasonable target for Trey Murphy. Jordan Hawkins also got ruled out in this game, while CJ McCollum, DeJounte Murray, Herb Jones are all out. I believe they also popped Zion back on the injury report. They did with a questionable tag, whereas for Orlando, Paolo Banchero is out, and I'm pretty certain that Wendell Carter Jr. is going to be out. I feel very confident in that. For the Pelicans, I don't think that Yves Missi is a must-roster player, and now as players do start to return, like Trey Murphy, he's just not doing enough. This is the time where he was going to establish himself as a must-roster player, and that's just not going to last, and he's still not playing big minutes or producing in a big way. A situational stream guy. For the Magic, I want to watch Jalen Suggs, not to determine whether we roster him. We obviously know that we do. It's about, is he able to maintain this higher minutes, the higher usage, while keeping the defense high? Because so far, it's been awesome. Who are the stream guys? It's probably BJ Boston. Trey won't play. Hawkins is out. In fact, it's definitely BJ. So if you've got an opportunity to get BJ, I think you got to look at it. Would you start him on a Friday? Well, that's up to you to decide, isn't it? You need to work out where you can, if you can fit that in or not. I really like BJ Boston. Long-term, the value is probably not going to be there, but he does deserve to be converted off a 2-way. And he's always a guy that, to me, for the Clippers, I don't know why he never played. But whatever. This stream for the Magic is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope because he just, that's what he is. He's a streamer. He is nothing close to a must-roster player. He is just a stream-only type character. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Yeah, PrizePicks. Because you know what PrizePicks is? It is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks makes and has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on 2 players, or at least 2 players, with a shot of up to win 100 times your cash. So run your game all season long on PrizePicks. PrizePicks also now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account, whatever sport it is you're playing. And those withdrawals can happen really fast. They put their users and their members first on PrizePicks. Within 15 minutes, you can get those withdrawals straight into your account. PrizePicks also invented the flex play, which means that you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. So, download the PrizePicks app and use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if that first $5 bet wins. This FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything that you need. If you're looking to place those live bets on the NFL, it's all in one place. Gone are the days, long gone, vanished into history. The days of having to have the bets on one spot and then look at the stats in a different spot and then your live play-by-plays and be working like you're in a mission control center with a million, maybe you're in the Ark. Maybe you're sitting at Secaucus with 1 million screens. Not anymore. It's one app. It's bang. It's all there. Everything you need to place those bets is there. So go to FanDuel.com today and join and get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That is FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. And don't forget to gamble responsibly. Okay. Let's take a look at the next game up on the slate and we see whether other injury news have come through. And there is injury news in this one. Brooklyn and Boston is the game that we're going to pay attention to here. Schedule-wise, Brooklyn's got the Friday, Saturday, so they've got the bonus Saturday game there. And then they have 4 next week, so a really good scheduling period for Brooklyn. Whereas Boston goes Friday, Sunday, and then just 3 the week after. Day'Ron Sharpe, Trendon Watford, Bojan Bogdanovic, is that man ever going to play? They're all out. Noah Clowney is questionable. Now, I've put Ben Simmons as probable because this is a first of a back-to-back. Now, Simmons sat the last game, which was a second of a back-to-back. So I'm very, very certain that Simmons will play in this game and then sit the game on Saturday, which opens up more streaming opportunities because there's only 4 games on Saturday, I think. That gives us that extra opportunity there. Porzingis is out. Luke Cornett is doubtful with a hamstring. And Jaylen Brown is out once again. That's 4 games in a row for Jaylen Brown. So that is... They keep saying they're not concerned. I would be. I'd be a little bit concerned. On the net side of things, I want to watch Ben Simmons. And for one reason. Last game, Nick Claxton started. And that was with Simmons out. So, what do? Does Simmons start? Does Dorian Finney-Smith come to the bench? Does Claxton come to the bench? How much can Simmons and Claxton play together? I think Simmons might come off the bench here and keep it that 24-minute zone, which makes it really hard to have him as a must roster. He's a specialty type of guy, but this is almost the real decision time we need to see. On the Celtics side of things, we've got to start making decisions whether we're jacking off Drew Holiday.
Get that garbage out of here!
And I think in a lot of cases we are. There's just nothing. The shooting's not great. There's no defensive stats. He's going to be at risk of minutes limits. He just isn't doing anything. So I don't mind a hold, but we're getting to... And I'm going to keep using this guy's name as a reference point for these sort of things. He's moving into Mike Conley zone, where it's sure, but also you don't have to. He's not quite there, but he is moving there. In terms of streams on Brooklyn, Jalen Wilson got a lot of minutes last game. Is that because Simmons was out? I don't know, but we do want to pay attention to that. It's not a super strong stream, but the one that is a super strong stream is the big fella himself. Portuguese legend, the Pastel da Nata, Neemias Queta. He is going to have to play a lot. No Cornett, no Porzingis, no Brown. He will start. He might play 30 minutes if he doesn't foul out. He's got an opportunity to Zach Edey, this Brooklyn team as well. This is one of those ones where I think if Queta is available, you will start him. And you might do it again on Sunday. He would be in your best players, I think, if you added him Friday. Now, is that worth it? Is transitioning one game of Queta off the wire, is the advantage you gain there bigger than the guy that would have started anyway and you've wasted an ad? But what else are you using your ads for? For Saturday's games? How many are you using there? Have a look how much you would use on Saturday. But if you've got it, an upgrade might be worth it. Look who your worst player that's starting is. Have a look. I'd be paying a lot of attention to that. I didn't even talk about... No, I did talk about the injuries. What am I going on about? We're good. Bucks and Knicks is the next game. Now, this is a back-to-back for Milwaukee. So I don't really know exactly what's going to be happening with them, but there was one thing. We'll talk about that in a second, actually. The schedule here, Milwaukee goes Friday, Sunday. Knicks Friday, Sunday. And then next week, it's 3 games for Milwaukee, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday. And the Knicks are Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Middleton, I'm guessing, remains out. And who knows when this is happening. We're 3 weeks in here and still nothing. Yanni missed the last game. He is still questionable for Thursday. I would guess, given that it's an adductor strain for Antetokounmpo, that he's at significant risk of sitting one of the 2 games. Is it Thursday or Friday? If Antetokounmpo is out Thursday, I put him at a true 50-50 on Friday. If Giannis plays on Thursday, I reckon there's a 20% chance that he plays on Friday. But NBA and injury monitoring and injury prevention stuff doesn't always align with what I think. Achua remains out. Mitchell Robinson remains out. Cameron Payne is questionable. It's a hamstring. Why are you questionable? Just rule him out for 2 weeks. He'll probably play. It also doesn't matter that much, but it's just, again, another infuriating thing. On the Knicks, I want to watch Jalen Brunson. What's going on? Get a defensive stat, my guy. Take a few more shots. Have those shots go in. It is also worth remembering that even though, like last season, he was taking like 30 shots a game or whatever it was. I think it was like 33 field goal attempts per 100 possessions down the stretch. But I remember, and I copped a lot of heat for this, rightfully so, that when I did my first All-Star team on like January the 1st, I didn't have Brunson in. Because honestly, he wasn't playing very well. He was playing... No, that's not true. He was playing fine. And then he kicked it up to a ridiculous level the second half. But his first half of the season, pretty slow. Now, so some of that was because Julius Randle was there, maybe. And is this because Bridges and Anunoby and Towns are there? Also, perhaps. But like, he's just not doing enough. There's no shots. The assists are down. Defense is down. I do believe that he can improve, but like, I want to see it. Andre Jackson Jr. is going to start for the Bucks on Thursday. I assume that he will start on Friday because, as again, Gary Trent didn't get screwed out of a contract because of the CBA. He got screwed out because of the GTJ. Hey, I'll put that on a t-shirt. He's bad. He's benched for Andre Jackson. Now, Jackson, I wouldn't say is a must-roster player. You stream him for Thursday because no one's playing, and he might get you 2 steals and 4 assists. That's possible. And he's not a volume player at all, but he's going to enable some of the other players, Giannis, Dame, maybe even Taurean Prince, to get more shots in that starting group. And then Juice McBride is always the stream on the Knicks. You could probably just hold McBride. There'll be some bad games, but there's only 6 relevant players on that team, and he is the very clear 6th one. Warriors and Cavs. That's the next one that we go to here. There are some injury updates that are important here. We'll talk... first of all, the Cavs are 4-point favorites. The Warriors continue to cook, but yeah, this is the Cavs now are the best team in the NBA. I think they're the only undefeated team left. I won't say best, but at the moment, there seems to be clear 4 best teams. Boston, Cleveland in the East, and Golden State somehow, and Oklahoma City in the West. You could throw Minnesota and Denver, whatever, in there, and Dallas, but what the Warriors have proven it. They went into Boston and beat them. And now you take on the Cavs. Huge, huge run. Schedule-wise, Friday, Sunday for Golden State, Friday, Saturday for Cleveland, so the nice little stream spot there. Whereas Golden State has a terrible schedule. Not as bad as Denver's, but Tuesday, Friday next week is Golden State. That's it. That's dreadful. And Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday for Cleveland. So the injury report is out for Golden State, and DeAnthony Melton is questionable. Pajemski's questionable, and Draymond Green is questionable. I expect Green plays. Pajemski, I think, plays. And Melton's obviously coming back. And then we get to that stage where everyone's back. And that brings me, quickly, Cavs. That would have been a great transition, Josh. You did it wrong. Max Strus is out, and Dean Wade's missed the last few with an illness. I think he returns, but whatever. Everyone coming back means all eyes are on John Kuminga. With players out, he didn't do anything. So with players in, how's he going to do anything? He is very much a jack. I would say in 12s you could almost move on. It doesn't look like it gets better at this point. For the Cavs, Evan Mobley's had a bit of foul trouble the last couple of games. Minutes have been down, some bad shooting. I think, I won't say it's a buy low, but he started off the season awesomely. And people are like, oh, there's a breakout coming. Now, there's people pushing back. I don't think there's an actual breakout happening for Mobley. I think there very clearly is to me. He looks awesome. He's doing a lot with the ball in his hands. He's bringing the ball up. His usage is way up. There's just been a few weird games with some foul trouble, some bad shooting. I don't think that it's really any sort of realistic buy low, but I wouldn't be like, same old. I don't think that's the case. Kyle Anderson's probably a streamer for Golden State, but, we're going to be in a real minutes crunch here. And then Karis LeVert got big minutes last game, and he was great. Will that happen again? Like, if Wade is playing, will he do that again, or will he go back to 21 minutes? It does become a little bit minutes crunchy in Cleveland with the way that Kenny Atkinson is currently running those rotations. Today's episode is also brought to you by my friends over at Skims for Men underwear. You don't want to talk about it, but I'm sure the vast majority of you wear it. And if you don't, hey, that's good luck to you as well. Skims for Men. You might have heard of Skims. You might have heard your partner talk about Skims. You might have seen it on TV. You might be just a big KUWTK fan. Maybe you're one of those. I don't know. But Skims for Men is here, and they're spectacular. The material is super comfortable. We all seek out comfy undies. We don't want the ones with the tag gigging in. We don't want the ones that don't sit right and right up our leg or up our crack. We don't want any of that stuff. We want the comfy undies, and that's what Skims brings. Multiple different types of material. The stretchy material, which is goated. The cotton material, more breathability. The different shapes, the brief, the high cut to show off your nice buns. The boxer brief, the boxers, the different colors. Wow, this is, yeah. It's just a product where you're always on the search for the good undies, and that's why you like to have them. So this is it. This is the one that you're looking for. I got a couple of pairs myself, and I love them. So shop Skims Men's at skims.com. Skims Men's. That does not roll off the tongue, Skims Men's, but that's okay, because the more I say Skims Men's, the more it burns into your head of how not right it sounds, but you also remember it. Skims Men's at skims.coms. Let them know we sent you, and after you place your order, in the survey drop-down, you select podcast, and then our show will pop up in that drop-down menu and select it there. And if you're looking for the perfect gifts for the whole family, Skims just launched their biggest holiday shop ever, also available at skims.com. All right, let's round out the rest of these games at a medium pace. Suns and Mavs. There is a spread available here for this one. We're talking about the Mavericks being 2.5-point favorites. Both teams play Friday, Sunday, and both teams play 4 games next week starting on Tuesday. Slightly different schedules, but that's okay. Ryan Dunn sprained his ankle last game for the Suns, didn't return. I'm labeling him questionable. I didn't put Bradley Beal on this list, but I'm sure he'll pop up as probable or questionable. He's going to be the every day on the injury report sort of a guy. And then for Dallas, we do have the update. Derek Lively's out. PJ Washington is out. Maxi Kleber is doubtful, and Dante Exum are out. So we're down that situation where there's just no bigs left. So we're going to be getting our doses of Najee Marshall and Olivier Maxence-Prosper and Markieff Morris and Dwight Powell and those sort of blokes. 3 games in a row, 15-plus rebounds for Jusuf Nurkic. Is he back? I don't know. Really tough to view that. Like, you can see 7 games in a row where they keep benching him and keep benching him and keep benching him and go, okay, well, I guess they're not running this way. And then you make that call, and then he plays 28 minutes and has an absolute barn-burning game. And he could cook this Mavericks team. Or they could go small and really hurt him. There is a real risk either way here. I do think that given the way that it's trended, we have to hold Nurk. It is brewing to be an annoying scenario all season, though. That's part of the concern here. And then on the Dallas side, we have to watch what's happening with Clay. I don't think that he's a must. Simple as that. He's a points. He's a threes guy. There are plenty of these points and threes guys that we've seen, like Norman Powell, who are doing way more, right? Clay is just not doing anything, really, and he's not even doing it at enough volume. Stream guy is probably Grayson Allen in Phoenix, although that's points and threes as well. How much worse is Grayson Allen than Klay Thompson? Najee Marshall is the other one there because he's going to have to start. Now, he didn't really do anything last game, but there's a 30-plus minute upside here. He's got to play maybe some small ball center if they can trust Olivier Maxence-Prosper. And there's an opportunity to stream him in and maybe get something positive out of it. Wizards and the Grizzlies. That's the next game for us. There's a lot of injuries in this one, as you're probably well aware. Schedule-wise, Washington's Friday, Sunday, so is Memphis, and then it's a 4-game week for Washington versus 3 for Memphis. Kuzma's out, Brogdon's out. Marvin Bagley missed the last game due to an illness. I put him questionable. It doesn't matter. He's playing like 5 minutes a night. And then Des Bane, Marcus Smart, Gigi Jackson, Vince Williams are all out. And then Ja Morant hurt his hamstring last game. I don't have an official update on that yet, but I am putting him doubtful. Now, my doubtful radar has been pretty good. so far today. So I will say that, I think that he'll either be labelled doubtful or out. I'd be very surprised, and it would honestly be stupid if Ja Morant plays in this one. And then John Konchar has missed a bunch of time with foot soreness. I'll put him questionable. I think he could label as doubtful. If he's doubtful, he just won't play. What are we watching for? We're watching for a Jonas Valanciunas revenge game. Not really, but watching to see what Valanciunas' minutes are like, because he is basically now playing exclusively as Alexander Sarr's backup. They're not playing much together at all, which I thought they would do. And Valanciunas is producing in those low minutes. That's just a hard road to travel, though, is to continue to do that, and we just need to keep watching it. Scott Pippen is, I believe, going to have a huge opportunity because I don't think Ja will play. So Pippen should, I would guess. Now, last time Ja was out, they didn't start him, but they also had Bane and Smart available. So I think that Pippen is a basic lock to start and play like 33, 34 minutes. In terms of streams, Keyshawn George has been great for Washington. Now, he can be hit or miss, and he's playing against Memphis's Keyshawn George and Jalen Wells here. I would much prefer George over Wells, but both guys have 12-team appeal, and I think they're both worthy to have, because these situations with Kuzma, Brogdon, Smart, Bane, Jackson, Williams, they're not short-term things. They are longer-term injuries where you can get that value there. The other one to watch on Memphis, or to stream, is Jake LaRavia, who is also taking advantages of these absences of these players and putting up good numbers. Of course, we're always wanting to watch Zach Edey to see, if I'm right or wrong based on one game. We'll find out. Tomorrow's the deciding factor. Whether he was good or bad, that determines whether I was right or wrong on everything about him. The next game we take a look at is Houston taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder, where in OKC they're bouncing back, or they look to bounce back after a loss. They're 9-point favorites, the Thunder here. Schedule-wise, both teams have literally identical schedules. Friday, Sunday, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday next week. Steven Adams is questionable. He has sort of been one game on, one game off as he returns from this knee injury, which should give you significant pause about where his future lies. The fact that we're a year removed and it's not back-to-backs he's sitting. He's just sitting every second game. He missed the last one, so he should be back here, and if he doesn't, and then it's the same three out for the Thunder. It's Hartenstein, it is Jalen Williams, and it is Kenrich Williams, all still out. Jabari Smith has to be on the chopping block, so we want to watch it. He's had a few good games, but when you look at the totality of what he's done, what is it, like a 10% strike rate on good games? That's not enough to be a must-roster 12. And with people snapping at his heels, Amen Thompson, Tari Eason to get minutes, what are we doing? Also, by the way, I didn't mention it yesterday. Remember there was a lot of talk about, Şengün was so bad because he played against Wemby and that killed him? He played against Wemby yesterday. Pretty good game, yeah. So these narratives that develop, it is important to be able to pick holes in them. It's very important. Or it's important to ignore them when making decisions. Chet Holmgren, I want to watch because the last couple of games he's been a bit off. Now, he was grasping with his thigh about 2 games ago. He still played big minutes, but the shot is not there and the production has dropped dramatically. I think the reality of Chet is somewhere in between the early season stuff and the last couple of games, but I want to see if that thigh is actually bothering him at all. On the Houston side, Tari Eason and Amen Thompson are your stream guys, but they're over-rostered in terms of the cutoffs that I use. So I'm going with Dylan Brooks, but Tari and Amen, we still always want to watch what the minutes are. Is it true that they're keeping Tari on a minutes limit because of his injury? Because that's what they've said, but I also go, okay, then where are you finding the rest of the minutes? What's the actual limit here? Because he played 24 last game, so if he didn't have this restriction, what would you be playing him? Would you be finding 30 minutes a night? I don't know. Amen's been getting 30 a night. Is that something that continues? Not sure. On the Thunder side of things, it's probably Aaron Wiggins' turn to start. But Cason Wallace is still my stream guy. Alex Caruso's a stream guy if he's available, but I don't know if he is or not. The Heat and the Nuggets. All right. Heat and the Nuggets. Interesting situation here in Denver with the likely return of Jamal Murray. Schedule-wise, both teams play Friday, Sunday. Then Miami plays Thursday, Friday, Sunday. But look at Denver. Friday, Sunday, and then Friday, Sunday. Yuck. That is 4 days with no games. 4-day stretch. We have not seen a gap that large so far this season. Kevin Love and Jaime Jaquez both have missed. Well, Love hasn't played yet, and Jaquez has missed the last couple. I would expect that Jaquez plays in this one. Aaron Gordon is out, Konchar is out, and Jamal Murray upgraded to questionable. On the Heat side of things, it's been a really rough go of things from Terry Rozier. And I'm not that surprised. This is why he was going outside the top 100. He's sort of struggling to find his place. The shot's not there. He doesn't have the opportunity to do the things that he did in Charlotte. Obvious stuff, I think. And we're sort of seeing that play out. On the Nuggets, I want to see what happens with Julian Strouber. Was his minutes up? Were his minutes up? That's better English. Because Jamal was out? let's see what they do with him here. Or does that impact what happens with Peyton Watson? I don't think it does, but it will be something to pay attention to. Last game, Haywood Highsmith played 1 million minutes. Now, he could play 0 in this game, but I do think there's at least maybe a stream value here. They seem to be souring on Little Chungus Nikola Jovic. I don't think they'll make a starting lineup change, but Jovic has played 16 minutes combined in the last 2 games. So Highsmith might be that guy. You could also look at Khalil Ware, who took over from Tom Bryant, but if Kevin Love does play, will that mean that Ware goes back to a nothing role? And what happens with like Pele Larson, who was getting those minutes, but does he get them over Huckers? Does he play them over Burks or Richardson? I'm not sure how that's going to run. So Strother is going to be the stream on the Denver side because, again, Peyton Watson's been added. If Peyton Watson has not been added, you add him. Now, the problem with that is again, that schedule. But I believe if you add Peyton Watson, you will start him Friday, Sunday. And you will start him Friday, Sunday. And then you will start him for the next 3 weeks after that until Gordon is back. So yeah, look, it's an annoying part of the schedule, but I wouldn't be treating him as a stream guy, Peyton Watson. I'd be treating him as a guy that has a real chance to be in your 10 best. And while he's not Michael Porter Jr., this is not a long-term thing. For the time being, he is Michael Porter Jr. in terms of where the value should sit with him, I think. So if you're considering, I'm not going to add because the schedule, I would do it. I have done it, even though that's an annoying period there for the old Denver Nuggets. The next game, Portland and Minnesota, both of these teams play Thursday, so not a lot to talk about here. The Wolves are already 12-point favorites, though. Portland and Minnesota go Friday, Sunday as well. And then 3 games, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday for Portland next week, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday for Minnesota. Shaedon Sharpe is questionable for Thursday. I don't think he necessarily sits a back-to-back. It was a shoulder issue. I think he's fine to play in the back-to-back. So if he does play Thursday, I think he'll be okay on Friday. And then Matisse Thybulle remains out, while Minnesota at the moment, no injuries, although Rudy Gobert and that ankle could pop up at any point. Delano Banton is maybe a Portland streamer, but he could also play 0 minutes. He was really good last game, but they, for some, I don't know what reason, reduced Scoot Henderson's minutes down. You are going nowhere, Chauncey Billups. You have never given Scoot a real opportunity. Not that he's been good, but at some point, you've got to at least give an opportunity to see what he can do versus coming off the bench behind Anthony Simons. And now you play Banton over him. I don't know. But Banton is getting some time, and it was great. Do not add Delano Banton, please. But as a stream guy, maybe. But that's really desperate stuff. And then, as always, Jaden McDaniels is going to appear on this list. The next and the second last game of the day is the Philadelphia 76ers and the Los Angeles Lakers. Schedule-wise, both play Friday, Sunday, and then Philadelphia has Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and the Lakers have Wednesday, Friday, Saturday next week. Embiid is out, and of course the news is that Tyrese Maxey is going to be out for at least 2 weeks. Hamstring. Every NBA team is calling it hamstring tightness now. It's not tightness. They're straining it. At least they're giving him 2 weeks off, unless you're the Knicks in campaign. We will see. Yeah, 2 weeks is fine. I think you probably need 3, but we'll see. Now Maxey's out. Embiid is out. Kyle Lowry is going to start, and Jared McCain's going to be a deeper league player there. Wood and Vanderbilt are out, and then last game there was no Anthony Davis, there was no Rui Hachimura. I'm labeling them questionable. I don't believe we've got an update on them just yet. No, we do not. Also, by the way, Ja Morant officially out. Cool. That should be 2 weeks. We'll see whether they do it, but that should be 2 weeks for him as well. Be aware of that. They've ruled him out already. I'm certain that is more time than that. But they haven't done it yet, and they've overtaken Charlotte. They're the worst injury reporting team in the NBA, Memphis. They used to have that title. Charlotte came for them real hard, really wanted to get that championship, but no, they've given it back now, so Memphis has got it. Back onto this. So yeah, Maxey's going to be out. Davis, I think, will be okay. Rui, I think, will be okay. And Dalton Connect got hit in the jaw last game, left and didn't return, and obviously he's not okay. Someone asked me, because I was ranting, maybe not, but I was talking about why the hell is Dalton Connect rostered in 19% of standard leagues, which is an insane number. And someone said, well, you got to include dynasty leagues. Okay, dynasty leagues are about 2% of leagues. And even because the advanced roster number we use on Basketball Monster is like standard 12-team formats, which is not dynasty leagues. So even if you want to include the dynasty thing, which is like on Yahoo, it's about 2% of leagues are dynasty leagues. That number is still like that is the Lakers bump. That is an insanely high number. Kyle Lowry is the guy we've got to watch in Philadelphia. He's the stream guy. He was actually, before last game, in the top 120 for categories already this season. He's going to get you some assists. He won't shoot very much, but he's been shooting well. There's some steals he can get. And then deeper leagues, it's Jared McCain. And then D'Angelo Russell, benched last game, played 23 minutes. We've been through this with D'Lo plenty of times before, and it is going to end his career It is. And that sounds hyperactive and hyperbolic, whatever. But what I mean is the fact that he keeps getting benched and keeps getting benched and keeps getting benched and fights back, it means that his career is not going to go the way that he thinks it is. He is going to find himself in a permanent backup role, and he's going to get Kemba Walker, who Kemba was a way better player than D'Angelo Russell, but he hit a stage where Kemba couldn't do it anymore, and he was done. He's out of the league. It's a Kevin Porter. There's going to be this spot where eventually, no one's going to pay him to be a starter. He's going to be a backup, and that's going to be his career. So, I'm not dropping him, but it's just too many times for this to be happening, for it not to be an ongoing problem. Jackson Hayes would be the streamer for the Lakers, assuming that Anthony Davis is there. He's still not a bad streamer if Davis plays, but that's really about it. I think D'Lo will be okay here. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're benching him here, but I also don't think that he's a long-term starting level player. In fact, I might stake it here. I reckon this might be his last year as a starter in the NBA. But for now, we're still holding on. The last game of the day, the 13th game in a monster schedule, Clippers and Kings. I want to see what's going on. Actually, let's talk schedule first. Kings are 5.5-point favorites. Friday, Saturday for the Clippers, so they've got the back-to-back. Kings go Friday, Sunday, and then both teams have a 4-game week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then a weekend game. Leonard is out, Bumba is out, Devin Carter is out, and Orlando Robinson is out. I want to watch Norman Powell because he's hitting everything. His usage is high, his field goal and three-point percentage is high, and his assists are actually up. I want to see where that usage goes and how, not that he's clearly going to start because Derek Jones isn't it, Terrence Mann clearly isn't it, Kevin Porter's nothing close to being it. So Powell is going to continue to start, but the problem then becomes, because at the moment he is more usage than Harden. Is that what they're going to continue with? And then where does Powell sit when Kawhi returns? Which, I don't know when it happens. De'Aaron Fox also I want to watch, not because he's necessarily bad, but there's been a lot of fluctuations in him with free throw percentage, assist numbers. I want to sort of see if we can get a read on how it all sort of pans out with these guys, because I still don't really get how it's all playing out, because it does seem to fluctuate quite a bit. In terms of the stream guys, while we're just looking at mirror images, Chris Dunn and Keon Ellis. Ellis will struggle to have upside in minutes because of Herter and Monk being there, and Dunn has struggles for upside for minutes because, again, he comes off the bench behind Norman Powell and Terrence Mann. But when you're looking for some steals, throw in a block or so. Both of these guys are going to be options for you to get that. Now, to finish off the show, we'll just take a look at the chunks, the next 5 days. I'm not going to include Friday's action in this because that is a 13-game day and that's hard to stream. But every other day, Sunday, debatable because 11 games are on, but you could stream. So who are the guys that have 2 games over the next 5 nights, excluding Friday, that are going to be worth looking at? And number 1 on that list is Tari Eason, who probably just should be rostered anyway. Keyshawn George, Bub Carrington in Washington. I think especially Carrington should be rostered, and George is probably worth having and a nice little schedule boost coming up. Malik Monk is a tougher one, but the schedule does suit him with those 2 lower volume day games coming up. Still, the Mike Brown of it all is frustrating. I don't know whether Wendell Carter is returning or not, but Goga Badadze just should be on your roster, and then you get the little bonus 2 games here. And then Al Horford as well. I do think you just need to have him on a roster. There's going to be some annoying games, absolutely, but there's no reason for him to be sitting on a waiver wire. So ends the 13-game preview for Friday across the NBA. No streams of the day because there's too many players playing. Hit the thumb on this one, though. Double bang and leave your comments down below. And guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.